Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades here. Welcome back to the channel for another update on Kadena. Today's just going to be a quick one. I really want to focus on what I expect over the next 2 to 3 weeks now that the stochastic RSI on the weekly time frame is starting to bottom. We'll also be updating our Kadena trade, which is currently in 169% profit. So let's dive right into this now. In terms of what's happening in the macro, everything's just kind of slowly bleeding out like we've been predicting. We are coming right down to our first set of price targets where we do have this huge level of support on these volume profiles at 69 cent. This is actually the take profit on our trade. This volume cluster is between 69 and 50 cent with the next huge volume cluster coming in at 50 cent. So personally, I don't really foresee Kadena being below 50 cent before we do see that next bounce in the markets. And also one final thing to take note of in the macro is we still do have this beautiful head and shoulders breakdown price target at 54/55 cents. So in general, in the next few weeks or so, I do continue to expect to bleed out for Kadena. I am expecting between 69 to 50 cent, but more likely I'm really targeting round about, 55 to 50 cent. That's where I think Kadena is going to be coming down to. Now, if you remember, a few weeks ago, we made this video called Kadena 42 days worth of pain, and since that video we have obviously bled out for quite some time. Back when we made this video, this was approximately 27 days ago, and we're still predicting about another 16 days worth of pain based on these fractals on the stochastic RSI. Whenever the stock came down to this particular level that we were talking about a few weeks ago, we normally had about another 42, 56, 42 days worth of pain before we did find a local bottom and proceeded with a bounce. So in my opinion, we're still round about this exact same level. Really nothing's changed in the macro. I'm just expecting that one final flush out. Now, in terms of why I think we're still going to be witnessing a brutal flush out, well, first of all, this is exactly what we've done in this previous fractal with the stochastic RSI, but also, as we know, if we come over to the daily time frame, Kadena has recently broken through the floorboards of the lows that were set in place in November of 2022. Now, we're currently in this situation where we've just broken beneath the lows, and I've highlighted since the bear market has started every macro situation in which this has happened. We're currently in this blue box where we've broken down to the downside of the previous bear market lows. We've broken to the downside, flipped them as resistance on a retest, and broken back down lower. We did this over here, once we broke through the floorboards of the lows that were in place on May 2022. We broke down from the support level, flipped it as resistance, and nuked to the downside. Over here, you can see back in January of 2022, we had bear market lows, we had a big bounce, we came back down, flipped this zone as resistance, and had a huge plunge to the downside. Over here, you can see the lows were established 13th of December 2021. We flipped them as resistance and plunged to the downside. So every single time we found ourselves breaking beneath the bear market lows, we normally catapult down. You can see this is where the lows were established. We had about another 48% to drop to the downside. Over here, in the next situation, we dropped down about 69%. Over in this situation, we broke down about 41%. And as you can see, since we've broken down from these bear market lows, not even taking into consideration the bounce that we've had quite recently, we've only broken down 8.5%. So, on average, we should obviously be breaking down at a much greater trajectory than we are currently witnessing right now. In some of these examples, like if we come back over to the daily time frame, it's completely natural to see a breakdown into new bear market lows and take about a week or two of just accumulating to the side, really confirming that this is a resistance zone before taking that plunge. This has happened quite a few times, like over here as well. This took about a week. Over here, this was much quicker, but as you can see, we're really kind of in this situation right now where we're just bleeding sideways before we have that next macro leg down. So that's what I'm predicting for Kadena. I think that we are going to get that major move down like we have seen in these previous instances. And while we will be taking profit on our trade at 69 cent, like I said, we do have price targets down between 54 cent and 50 cent, at which point, in my opinion, if we do get down to 50 cent, we will very likely see the stochastic RSI start to turn up, and at which point this is when I'm going to be pivoting short-term bullish. I don't think 50 cent is the bottom. Once again, I really have to highlight that short-term bullish doesn't mean that anything has changed in the macro. What I am just highlighting is every single time this has happened in the stock, we have proceeded with a bounce before obviously making new bear market lows every single time. So I don't think this is going to be the bear market low for Kadena, but nonetheless, at some point, once we do have that major plunge to the downside, which I think is going to be taking place within the next 2 to 3 weeks, that is when I'm going to be pivoting short-term bullish. We will be coming down to a monumental level of support, a level of support which Kadena has not seen since we were all the way back down here in August of 2021. You know, we haven't been down to this level for about 2 years. 658 days is the last time we came down into this major area of support. So I think it's very likely that between 69 cent and 50 cent, we do find that next local bottom for Kadena before having a bounce back up to the upside. Now, one more reason why we could bleed out for the next few weeks before having that bounce is the KDA BTC pair, which just keeps on breaking down into new bear market lows. Like we keep on saying, this is a leading indicator for the USD pair. And in my opinion, we should expect about another 22% move to the downside to the 2.618 fib before we do find any significant level of support. So once again, Kadena, I think we're going to break down for about another 2 to 3 weeks. And at which point, when we do come down to this big volume cluster, I will be pivoting short-term bullish, expecting a bounce. I'll, of course, let you know when I think the bounce is coming. Now, in terms of what we're doing for our trade, the main reason why I made this video is because of the trade. If you have been keeping up to date with our KDA trade, which we have been running on the channel, we updated this 6 days ago with a new stop loss at 85 cent. I've now lowered the stop loss even further down to 78 cents. So from our entry, this is a 30.3% drop. And of course, we're using a 5x leverage. So that's 150% return. We're now realizing 150% profits, realized profits on this trade. And of course, worst comes to worst now, if we come up and hit this stop loss, we make 150% profit. Now, of course, what I'd prefer to see is the price break all the way down to our take profit at 69 cent, in which case we'll have 200% profit from our entry, or in other words, we will have tripled our money on a 3x return. For today, my friends, that is all I've got. If you are in this trade with me and you are making lots of profit, let me know in the comment section down below. If you do want to further support the channel, feel free to click the join button and become a member today. Follow me over on Twitter at 618_cowboy. That's all I've got. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.